Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ben, and I should be getting a new mic here in the next week or so. I actually found money to order one, so that should be here by next Friday, so next gubernatorial election update, which we're doing today. So far as it stands, we're at 22-20 based off of the map that I've got here, and any race that I have polling information that actually changes the prediction I have is included in this. So no, I'm not going to talk about Maryland. That is basically safe for Larry Hogan. Nothing in polling, nothing in campaigning, nothing in the finances leads me to believe that it's going to be even remotely competitive. There's no point in me covering that race unless a poll or finances or campaign strategies that I can see indicate otherwise. And right now, what is there that might indicate otherwise? Nothing. So I'm not going to cover it. In Arizona, we are seeing, so about a week ago, I haven't seen this Gravis marketing poll yet, which shows Doug Ducey ahead. This one looks new to me. I don't believe I saw it last week. But Doug Ducey is ahead in that one. In this partisan poll, Doug Ducey is ahead. Essentially, since the primary, Doug Ducey has been ahead in everything, which is, I think, what we expected after the primary in a Republican state. There's a little bit of division between the Republicans, and that kind of falls behind the winner. Even despite what they may have said during the primary, that, oh, I would never vote for that person, even if it is against a Democrat. Well, now we're seeing polls that show Doug Ducey almost at 50% and Garcia having trouble hitting 45%. Which this has been in line with where Garcia has been polling anyway. His numbers are within the average in all of these polls. It's Doug Ducey's that have shot up from being just slightly under to almost, mid-40s here, but upper 40s in all the nonpartisan polls, including a registered voter and a likely voter, which indicates a similar shift that you would expect. At this point, I'm going to upgrade this only to leans. I want a little more information before I am willing to consider it a likely Republican state, but Doug Ducey is definitely the favorite to win in this instance, so I feel comfortable with that prediction. A lot of people have been saying that maybe I haven't been aggressive enough in Florida, but as it looks like, Andrew Gillum is actually performing extremely well. We've got a decent amount of polls that I haven't seen. I think this was the last one that I saw. I was still a little unwilling to give it to Andrew Gillum because he is a progressive, but with all this polling information, I find it hard not to. So I'm going to, as of right now, it's still a toss-up race, but if I absolutely had to, I think Gillum is probably going to win this, though there's plenty of undecideds, and there is definitely room for Ron DeSantis to win. At the moment, it is looking like it's going to come up for Gillum, so I'm not ready to lean it towards him, but I definitely think he has the advantage. Now this is Iowa. This one's really weird. You have an extremely reputable pollster who polled it early in the year, showing a 5-point lead for Kim Reynolds, and then Emerson College showing basically nothing. You have 26% undecided. I'm almost willing to throw this poll out because of it, because there's so many undecideds this late in the year. But I can't. I'm gonna downgrade this from leans Republican to tilt Republican, aka true toss-up, but the Republican should be expected to win. Just barely. When I tilt a race, it's essentially I call the race a true toss-up, but I don't like having toss-up races on my map, so I'll call a race. But it's just who I would choose if I was, gun to my head, had to choose one of the two, or predict one of the two, not choose one of the two, or else I would never pick Andrew Gillum in Florida. Going down to Kansas, we have public policy polling one that's supposedly nonpartisan, but public policy polling is almost always partisan, so but it shows what we would have expected. I'm actually going to downgrade this one, though, to leans Republican, because both of these are close, and this one is not affiliated. They're still going to have their Democrat House effect, but at this point, this is close enough that even their House effect won't put it outside of its competitive scene. So I still expect Chris Kobach to win, but Laura Kelly is definitely competitive, and Greg Orman seems to be having a significant impact in this race. There's still a decent amount of undecideds there, but that was Kansas, not Oklahoma. I'm sorry about that. So now we go to Nevada, where I've been having it is tilt Republican, because Adam Laxalt seems to be holding a massive lead, or not a massive lead, I'm sorry, that's not massive, seems to have been holding a steady, stable lead in the low to mid 40s with in the nonpartisan polls of the race, along with the Suffolk University poll. But it's definitely a true toss-up race, and since we have two polls from Suffolk University, one from July and now one from September, we can use this to see if there's been a shift. And it seems like both candidates have lost support, which doesn't make any sense to me. Again, I almost want to throw this one out because they have more undecideds than before the primary, which doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm going to count it just because it's useful information. I'm actually going to switch it to tilt Democrat. But I have zero confidence in that race. I'm going to talk about Ohio, though I don't know what to do. I'm going to tilt this one Republican, but this race is a true toss-up. The person with the advantage in just about every poll is the Republican Mark DeWine. So I think it's reasonable to tilt it towards him, but so we have a Sooner poll, and the last time they polled this race was in July, and before that they polled it in May. And every single time they've shown an increase in support for the Republicans, so that means the race is dramatically shifting towards the Republican Kevin Stitt in this instance versus Drew Edmondson. And this is the first one they've had that has under 10%. This is the first Oklahoma poll that is under 10% undecided, and as expected, I figured, as I expected, the Republican would eventually take advantage of that or gain it. So despite the fact I'm still going to downgrade because this is competitive, it kind of makes me feel a little more comfortable about the prediction, saying this is going to be a leans Republican race. Republicans should be expected to win it, but I'm a little less certain about it than I was before, only leaning at Republican. And here we go, Wisconsin. A partisan poll run by Public Policy Polling. Doesn't mean they're not reputable. They're generally considered a reputable pollster, but they do have a Democrat House effect. I don't remember seeing this one last week. But Scott Walker's numbers seem to be in line with where he was polling for most of the year. There's a gigantic variance for Tony Evers. 6% undecided. I'm not sure how much I want to factor this one in, but I'm going to count Wisconsin as tilt Democrat for now, which is where I've had it for a while. I think this all makes sense. This looks really reasonable, if we're completely honest, all things considered. I want y'all to take it easy. Have a nice day. I'll see you next time. Bye.